Hi guys, in this video I'm going to walk you through the first steps of Adobe Illustrator so we can accomplish the first 4 objectives of this week. So let's get started. First, at the top, we have the main menu. Then we have the first options to create a new document or to open a document. Over here we can see a list of our recent files, and over here these are like the presets, okay? So if I click on Create New, this window appears, this dialog box actually appears, and we have different options, okay? So in here in Saved, we can see whatever file that we just saved. If we click on Mobile, we can see different templates. If we are going to design something that will be used on a cell phone or a tablet. If we click in web, we have different also templates and options to create something for the web. In print, we have letter, A4, something larger like business cards, brochures, etc. Then we have the film and video options. These ones are for intros for videos, titles, etc. And in art and illustration, we can find also posters, postcards, and many other artwork, okay? So I'm going to click on Saved, and I will focus on this right part now. Now, the first thing we need to do, or we have to do, is that in this space, I'm going to put the name of my document, okay? So in this case, I'm going to call it My First Project. If you are doing a brochure, a business card, a logo, whatever, you just put here the name, okay? Now we have the width and the height. The width is how long my file is, and the height is how tall my file is, okay? So the width is horizontal, the height is vertical. And I can also change the orientation here. Now the size of my file will depend on what I want to do. If I want to create a business cards, for example, I'm going to put here centimeters, then put 9 and 5. That will be the measure for a business card, okay? But if I want to create something for a banner on the web, then I need to figure it out that size. Now, before you start creating, before you do your project, you have to think about that, the measurement. Usually when we are going to print something, we design in centimeters because we need to design according like the size of the thing we are going to print. Normally when we design something that will be seen on a screen, we choose pixels, okay? Points are the unit in which we measure typography. For example, if we are in Word and we change one document from 12 to 16 or to 18, those are points, okay? So the unit will depend on what we are going to do. Right now, I'm going to work with pixels. This will be a document that I'm just going to use for on-screen, and I will put 40 by 40 pixels, okay? These are the artboards, which I'm going to explain you in a minute. And here on the advanced options, I have the color mode. I have the color mode, the raster effects, and the preview mode. These advanced, are the color mode in which you are going to design. If the thing you will create in Illustrator will be something that it's going to be seen on a screen, then you have to choose RGB. If it's something that will be printed, you have to choose CMYK. If you choose RGB and start designing and then realize you are going to print it, don't worry because we can change that later. And on the resolution over here, again, the recommended resolution for on-screen images is 72 ppi. This means pixels per inch. Okay, we're going to see more in depth this later, and we have 300 ppi. If you will print something, the recommended resolution is 300. If it's for on-screen, it's 72. Okay, so, but these are advanced options. We don't have to worry about those yet, except for this. Okay, and then I'm going to click on Create. Once that this thing is open, we can see that our main menu, and we have our toolbar here on the left, and we have our panels on the right. I recommend you to have this video open next to your Adobe Illustrator so you can follow this and start practicing. And pause or rewind this video as many times as you like, okay? So the first difference you will notice with your Illustrator in mind is that you have fewer tools. And that's because I have the advanced tools and you have the basic ones. So let's make sure you have those advanced ones. So everything related to the tools and the panels, you will find that in Window. So I'm going to go to Window and find where it says Toolbars. And this is how you have it. You have the basic, so you will change it to Window, Toolbars, Advanced. So you have full access to the tools. Remember that when you do right click on one of these tools that have this triangle, you can find more of these tools that are part of the same group, okay? On the right, we have the panels, and these are called the floating panels because I can drag them and arrange them in my workspace as I want to. There are some designers that even use two screens, one to design and the other one for the entire panels. Now, these are floating panels. I want you to make sure that you have these 4 panels. That will be the main ones we will use. And for example, if I close these panels, how can I get them back? Very simple. We do that in Window, okay? So these are the 4 panels that you need to have. The Properties panel over here, this is the main one. The Navigator panel, the Layers panel, and the Swatches panel. Now, some of these panels may be open with different panels next to them, okay? If that's the case, for example, that these 2 were together when I open them here and I just want to keep the swatches, remember, I can detach this from the main group and close it, okay? You can do that. So just to make sure that you have these 4. Now, how can we arrange them? You have 2 options. The first one, I can drag the Properties one and put it there. Did you see that vertical blue line? I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to drag it until it fits. Now, the next panels, you have 2 options. The first one, you can put it here, do you see the entire rectangle blue? And it will be next to the Properties panel. Or you can put it below that panel. If I grab my layers and put it there, this will be between the Properties and the Swatches. Or I can put it on the side, okay? Or I can put it here. So this totally depends on you. What I like to do is to have the Properties and the Layers together and the Navigator and Swatches together, okay? Because these are smaller and these have more options. If I don't want to see the Navigator panel, but I don't want to delete it, I just double click on its name to minimize it, okay? This is very simple to do, or I can active or deactive one of these panels. Now, that's the basic stuff. This is my status bar, okay? This is my status bar. And remember, in Window, you can find all of the panels. Now, I want to make sure that I save my workspace. If you see in this part, it already has my name, okay? So I want to make sure that, for example, if I made a mistake and I move my bars and I just mess up my workspace, that I'm able to put it back again. So for us to do that, once you have your workspace done with all of your panels and everything, we are going to save it. So we're going to go to Window, Workspace, New Workspace, or in this part where it says Essentials, in your case, you will click New Workspace, okay? Both procedures are the same. You will put your name over here, your name, Pepito, Juanito, Ale, Victoria, whatever. You will put your name and you will click OK. Now, to make sure you did it correctly, I invite you to get rid of some of these panels. Then go to this part and click where it says reset and your name, and everything will get back to normal, okay? That's the second objective. The first one was how to start or to create a new document. The second one, to recognize where the panels, the toolbar is, where I can find those, and to set my workspace. The third project is to organize or to work with your artboards. In Photoshop, it's called Canvas because it's more for like digital art or painting, okay? But in here, they're called artboards. Like in PowerPoint, you have slides. In here, you have artboards. Now, as you can see, it says here no selection because I don't have anything selected. No tracing, squares, anything. The properties panel will change depending on the tool that I have selected. As you can see, it changes there, yes, or on the object that I have selected. But if I don't have any selection, what's going to appear here are the document properties, okay? In this case, the units of my document and the artboards. We also have the ruler and grids, the guides, the snap options, which we'll cover later. Now, if by mistake, instead of pixels, I put centimeters, I can simply change it in here, okay? If the size of my artboard was not correct, I don't have to start it all over again. What I do, as you can see, is that we have this button that says Edit Artboards. Now, I have this artboard, the first one selected, and I can simply change the size in here, okay? If I put 60 here, I can change the size of my artboard. If I want to lock the proportions, I can click in there, and if I reduce this one, for example, the other one will reduce on the same scale. But if you want to edit this separately, then you have to remove this option, okay? Another thing that we can do is that we can manually change the size of my artboard. As you can see, my cursor, this is the tool, the artboard tool. So I can drag and create different artboards in the same file. You don't have to create separate files each time you want to design something in Illustrator. You can have it on the same file, okay, depending on what you're doing. So as you can see, I created freely my 4 artboards, but I can also change their measurements in here, okay, their measures. What I can also do is to change the name. So instead of artboard 4, I can put, for example, banner, and then I press enter. I select this one and change it to logo. I press enter, and so on. If I want to get rid of one of these artboards, if I want to delete it, I simply select it and click on the trash can or press the delete button from my keyboard, okay? I can drag them. I can also click in here and a different artboard, a new artboard will appear, okay? Sorry, there we go. Now, these are my artboards. So that was simple how to edit them. Once I'm done and happy with my artboards, I can simply click on exit, okay? Now, as you can see, I'm moving around my artboard. I do that by pressing the space bar. It changes to the hand tool so I can move around my artboard, okay? Another thing is that when I press Alt and use the scroll in my mouse, I can zoom in or zoom out, okay? But I also can use the navigator panel. I can increase the zoom levels in here and use this red rectangle to move around my canvas as if it was the hand tool, okay? So it's up to you. That's why I put it in there. Now, once we're done with our work, let me add another artboard so I can explain you the exporting part. There. Once we're done with our document, but we want to continue working with it, like we want this file to be editable, so we're going to save it. I'm going to go to File and Save, okay? This window appears. Let me explain you about this incredible thing. Since we have full access to the Adobe apps, that also means that our license covers 80 gigabytes to save stuff on the cloud, okay, on the Creative Cloud. But also that if my computer, for example, crashes and I kept all of my files on my computer and I won't be able to restore them anymore, if I save them on the cloud documents, I am still going to be able to recover those files, okay? Also, if I sent, I don't know, for example, my computer for repairing, or we move to the CVPA or whatever, then you can save your documents on the cloud and they will be available for you on any computer that you have access and that it has Illustrator installed. Okay, so that's a huge advantage for us. Also, Photoshop files, for example, are very heavy and they take a lot of space from your computer. Then your computer gets slower. So what I do recommend you is, instead of saving your work on the computer, you save it to the cloud documents, okay? I'm going to show you how to do that now. This process is the same. I'm going to click in Save Cloud Documents. I'm going to click here so that you can see how it starts. In this part, you can create a new folder, you put the name and click on Save. I already have some of these folders created. Then I click in there, I can see that inside my cloud documents, I have a folder called Graphic Design Level 1. I put the name of my project if I didn't have put in one yet. And then I'm going to click Save, okay? Here's the cloud that it tells me that my project has been saved on the cloud. Now, I'm going to click on Save As one more time. Now I'm going to show you the save on your computer. When this screen opens, you can save it on your desktop, applications, documents, whatever. You also have the Save Adobe Cloud Document option, which will take you to the previous screen. And you can choose the format, okay? Adobe Illustrator, PDF, all of these are vector file formats. And then you just have to click where it says Save. Now, what if I want to export what I did? The difference between save and export is that save only saves my files as vector file formats, but export, I can save them as raster graphics, okay, as JPEGs or PNG. So to do that, we go to File, Export, and I click where it says Export As. When that dialog box open, I have the format over here. PNG, remember, it's the only file format that accepts transparency. I also have JPEG, and I have different ones, okay? The main ones that we are going to use are the PNG or the JPEG. In this case, I'm going to click JPEG. Now, if I want to save all of the artboards as JPEG, then I click just like that. But if I want to save only one artboard, then I click here, Use Artboards, Range, and I just want to save number 1, and then I'm going to click Export. This other box appears. Now, since I design in RGB, I can change it to CMYK, okay? I can change it to CMYK. I can increase the quality of my file. I'm going to increase it to maximum. And again, my resolution has to be 300 pixels per inch because this is something that will be printed. Okay, so these are the settings or the JPEG options when we are going to print this. But if it's an image that I'm only going to use for on-screen display, then I can reduce a little bit the quality or leave it as it is, but changing the resolution to the screen recommendation, which is 72 pixels per inch. Okay, and the color mode RGB. And now we'll just click OK. Now, these are the basic like the introduction to Illustrator. Remember, here on the main menu you have all of these options. One thing that you also need to start learning are the shortcuts and quickies. When you have a combination of 2 or more keys, then it's a shortcut. But when you only have one key like this, these are called quick keys, okay? And we use them to move around, to change from one tool to another, and to work faster and more efficiently with our program. So for example, if on a quiz I ask you, what is the process of creating a new file? The process will be File, New, to create a new file. What's the shortcut for creating a new file? It will be Command N. And this also depends whether you have a Mac or a Windows, okay? Now, if I click here my document, how do I open it again? I click File, Open Recent Files, or Open, so I can find my cloud documents or the ones that I have on my computer over here. Okay, I can find them on my computer, or I can simply browse through these options. Now, I'm going to open that one more time so I can explain you these tabs, okay? If I open another file, for example, this intro, as you can see, I have two different files in different tabs, okay? I don't have to close this one to open another one. I can have different tabs in here. And to completely close Illustrator, remember you click Illustrator and quit it. So this is the explanation for the first 4 objectives of the week, okay? Thank you.